Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother.
He made a diss track on you though.
You know what's funny about your brother? He's gonna fight fucking Gervonta Davis. It's like when you
who do you got?
You guys need to fight guys you're the same size. You know what I mean? When you fought Floyd, you are massive. You're a massive fucking dude. Floyd's tiny. And I'm sure when you were training, you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit this guy with a couple punches and grab him, tie him up. And he did hit you with a fucking bomb of an overhand right one time. And you fucking ate it. You ate that punch. And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd, but he's too small. I mean, your brother's gonna be able to, you know, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Is that why what?
Is that why you wouldn't let me fight Conor?
What the you gonna fight Conor? You're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he could beat me, and I think people would tune in.
But everybody thinks that. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody thinks that. If he said, I can't beat fucking Logan Paul, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
You're gonna
right.
say that.
Yeah,
He's
you're
a
right.
fucking professional fighter.
Jake Paul made it official. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul, guys, I'm all for fun fights. I'm all for big events. I will talk about what the fight entails. I don't think for 1 second that Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul in a boxing match is a complete mismatch on the side of Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is that much better than Jake Paul at boxing.
Almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you be out there claiming to want to fight the best people on the planet and then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you? That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
What do you make of Tank versus Gervonta?
It's a joke. It's a joke, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a joke. It's going to be like Mike Tyson. It's going to be a sparring match, and after they're going to just steal everybody's money.
Are you going to watch it?
No.
Jake Paul is making headlines once again, and not for the right reasons. In a recent interview, he cautioned fans and critics alike not to underestimate him, claiming that his power and self-belief could be the key factors in a potential clash with Gervonta Tank Davis.
I'm fighting Gervonta Davis on
wow.
Netflix. Let's go. People think that he could actually beat me, and people think he could outbox me, and he's so powerful and this and that. That's what makes it a good fight. November 14th, Netflix.
Ryan Garcia didn't hold back in responding to Jake Paul's bold claims, and he was absolutely livid. According to Ryan, the entire situation is a disgrace to the sport of boxing and an insult to real champions who dedicate their lives to the craft. In a follow-up statement, Ryan Garcia doubled down on his criticism, explaining why he's completely opposed to the idea of this fight. He emphasized that boxing should never be reduced to a circus act built to sell pay-per-views and deceive fans into thinking they're witnessing true greatness. Ryan urged that fighters like Tank Davis should prioritize real competition, not waste their time on celebrity-driven spectacles.
That's and disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're gonna think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fight. Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like when I fought him, he's small. So I just think it's a very unfair.
On the other hand, UFC legend Daniel Cormier offered a completely different take. Unlike many critics, Cormier didn't believe the fight would be entirely one-sided. He explained it in simple terms. Jake Paul holds the advantage in size, while Gervonta Davis possesses the superior skill. In Cormier's eyes, that balance alone makes the matchup intriguing. He acknowledged that while it's unconventional, clashes between size and skill often draw massive attention and spark genuine curiosity among fans.
Paul made it official. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Jake Paul, guys, I'm all for fun fights. I'm all for big events. I will talk about what the fight entails. I don't think for 1 second that Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul in a boxing match is a complete mismatch on the side of Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is that much better than Jake Paul.
However, Daniel Cormier's defense of the fight didn't find much support. Shakur Stevenson quickly stepped in and completely tore the idea apart. He called the matchup a blatant mismatch and accused Gervonta "Tank" Davis of chasing money instead of legacy. For Shakur, this wasn't about a battle between skill and size. It was simply a cash grab. He didn't hold back, criticizing Tank for even considering the fight and warning that taking on Jake Paul would send the message that his career is heading in the wrong direction. According to Stevenson, boxing deserves far more respect than this kind of spectacle.
Maybe he'll fight Jake Paul instead. What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it because at the end of the day, it's a money business, and you want to make the most money. But from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me. And if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
It's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
Shakur Stevenson didn't stop there. In another interview, he doubled down and took his criticism to an even higher level. He directly called out Gervonta "Tank" Davis, saying that stepping into the ring with Jake Paul would be nothing less than a slap in the face to the sport of boxing. Shakur acknowledged that Tank has earned his respect through years of hard work, but warned that throwing it all away for a quick payday sends the wrong message to both fans and fellow fighters. He made it clear that boxing doesn't need circus-style matchups, and urged Tank to think twice before putting his reputation on the line for something that could tarnish his legacy.
Man, Tank, disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say, I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A.
Eddie Hearn, one of boxing's most influential promoters, closed the discussion with a firm and clear stance. He acknowledged that while a fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis would undoubtedly draw attention and sell tickets, it wouldn't represent true boxing. In Hearn's words, it's simply entertainment disguised as a sporting event. He warned that matchups like this blur the lines for fans, making casual viewers mistake spectacle for genuine competition, something he believes harms the integrity of the sport.
Like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show, it's entertainment, it's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, you know, with, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I understand the market and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson.
Former UFC champion Michael Bisping also weighed in, and he didn't hold back. In a fiery rant, Bisping blasted the idea of the fight as absolutely disgraceful, claiming it drags down both boxing and combat sports as a whole. He argued that matching Gervonta "Tank" Davis, one of boxing's pound-for-pound elites, against Jake Paul, a YouTuber with limited professional experience, is downright absurd. Bisping emphasized that the matchup is driven entirely by money, not genuine competition, and warned fans not to be deceived by the difference in height, because at its core, this fight is nothing more than a spectacle.
It's a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you be out there claiming to want to fight the best people on the planet and then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you? That is called one thing. That's called being a bull.
Bisping's passion came from genuine concern over how dangerous this fight could be. He reminded everyone that weight classes exist for a reason, to protect fighters and ensure fair, safe competition. According to him, matching a smaller but elite boxer like Gervonta Davis against a much larger opponent like Jake Paul could lead to disastrous consequences. Bisping was outraged that such a fight was even being considered, arguing that it prioritizes entertainment over safety and risks damaging both fighters' futures, each in very different ways.
November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this will be very, very dangerous and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many, many times and not knock him out, with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous.
Bisping didn't stop there. He had a direct message for Jake Paul. He told him that chasing fights like this doesn't build credibility, it destroys it. According to Bisping, fans actually want to respect Jake for stepping up against real boxers, but calling out Gervonta Davis is a huge mistake. He warned that if Jake continues choosing fights that make no sense, he'll lose what little respect he's earned within the fighting community. In Bisping's words, Jake risks turning himself into a parody rather than a legitimate fighter.
What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word: whoa, 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 stop being such a bully, leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have.
Dillon Danis, never one to bite his tongue, went even harder at Jake Paul. In his trademark ruthless style, Danis accused Jake of outright scamming fans by promoting a fight like this. He claimed Jake has completely lost interest in the sport itself and is now only focused on cashing in by using big names to sell pay-per-views. According to Danis, this potential matchup proves that Jake Paul doesn't truly respect boxing, arguing that everything he does in the ring is driven by profit, not passion or performance.
Tang versus Gervonta versus
It's a joke. It's a joke, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a joke. It's going to be like Mike Tyson. It's going to be a sparring match, and after they're going to just steal everybody's money.
Are you going to watch it?
No.
Brendan Schaub also stepped in, echoing Dillon Danis' sentiments with equal intensity. The former UFC fighter called the idea of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis a complete joke, nothing more than an easy payday for both men. Schaub stressed that the matchup is an insult to the fighting community and to the fans who pay to see real, competitive bouts. He argued that while Jake and Tank would laugh their way to the bank, true fighters are out there grinding for genuine opportunities. In his view, this fight perfectly embodies a money grab and doesn't even deserve to be taken seriously.
Gervonta Davis's guarantee.
I call bullshit, Paul.
Me too.
I call bullshit.
$200 million is a lot of money.
That'd be the most any athletes ever made in one event, in one night. Where are they getting that money?
I mean, it's Netflix.
Okay. Mike Tyson didn't make that. Jake Paul didn't make that.
Yeah. $20 million, I would believe, not $200 million.
20 million seems realistic.
That's a lot.
Even because Netflix is bigger, but there's no pay-per-view model. So, and Gervonta is a big pay-per-view draw, especially for being a lighter weight class.
Yeah.
So 20 to even 40, I can get.
Oof, that's a lot.
40, I can understand.
When push comes to shove, though, you know, like 20.
Like Canelo's getting that 40.
Yeah.
But Gervonta Davis, he was, especially on Showtime, he was a big pay-per-view star.
Yeah.
He's a knockout artist.
Mm-hmm.
200 mil is just completely false.
God, Jake is so much bigger.
Yeah, man.
I mean, so much bigger.
I don't get it. If he thinks this is going to make him legitimate in boxing, I just don't get why he...
Colby Covington, never one to stay quiet, poured even more fuel on the fire with his brutal remarks. He stated that if the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight actually happens, it would be a complete slap in the face to the entire fighting world. Covington pointed out that real fighters dedicate their lives to building legacies through discipline and sacrifice, while Jake Paul is trying to buy his way into respect with publicity stunts. He added that Tank has nothing to gain from this matchup, only everything to lose, which in Covington's eyes makes the whole idea flat out disrespectful to the sport of boxing.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't, allegedly? So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Carl Frock also chimed in with a strong and uncompromising stance, agreeing that this fight should never be allowed to happen. The former world champion made it clear that matchups like Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis are not what true boxing fans want to see. Frock emphasized that boxing is supposed to be about competition, legacy, and skill, not flashy entertainment stunts. He warned that if promoters keep pushing these circus-style fights, they risk driving real fans away from the sport. In Frock's view, this matchup is completely unacceptable and poses a serious threat to boxing's long-term credibility.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into.
Rolando Raleigh Romero also joined the growing list of critics, highlighting the massive size difference as the biggest red flag. He pointed out that Jake Paul is naturally much bigger, stronger, and heavier, while Gervonta Tank Davis has spent his entire career dominating in the lightweight division. Raleigh warned that it's dangerous to ignore those physical disparities, reminding everyone that boxing has weight classes for a reason, to keep fighters safe and competition fair. In his view, the matchup makes no real sense, proves nothing for either man, and only adds unnecessary risk to both fighters' careers.
A lot of things can happen. I mean, Jake Paul might be too big for him, but like Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, like, or it's an exhibition. We don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis is complete nonsense? Or could there actually be something to it? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates in the boxing world.